Okay, so this just happened. I was riding along and my front brake caliper came undone and smashed into my spokes and tore off my speed sensor, and I lost my bolts. Fortunately I didn't crash, but I was going through some pretty big puddles. Now I gotta go find I gotta go see if I can find some bolts, some way to fix this. This sucks. To find one bolt in my tool chest that threaded in, but it's too long, so I had to use a grommet. The spoke straight didn't break, it ripped out, so I could pull that thing out with my hands. I have to figure out how to fix that and get this threaded back in. And then I got another bolt, but it's too long, so I have to find more things to be washers, and then maybe I could turn around and see if I can find those bolts. I don't know. All part of the adventure. Okay, so I kind of squeezed this back together with pliers after I put this insert in, and then I pushed in very carefully not to pop my tire. Fortunately it didn't pop. And then I rebent the spoke, threaded this back onto it, so it's just barely on there, but it'll hold, I think, until I get back. I'm gonna have to take the whole tire and rim off and fix everything. Yep. Well, as you can see, I'm pretty high up. I just went down about the mountain about a mile, very slowly, just to make sure things didn't just fall apart on me. These spokes, man. I'm gonna have to give this wheel some serious love when I get home. Yeah, so I ended up using a nut, a rubber grommet, and some thread to make a washer to get the bolt far enough away so it didn't hit. And then I used the rubber grommet on this one, and I'm just gonna have to keep stopping and checking to make sure it's not backing out. So no idea where these went. I checked the trail. Amazingly enough, my speedometer is still working. Looks like it tore a little bit here, but yeah, crazy. But other than that, I mean, the bike's been riding good. That box has been holding up good. I put some longer bolts in it with some bigger washers, and I ended up mounting my mess tray to the top, so I still have some storage. But yeah, luckily in my burrito tube I have a large variety of tools, washers, apparently not enough washers, but bolts and whatnot, so I was able to slap something together, zip ties. We'll see if it gets me home, but yeah. I didn't think there was going to be snow up here. That was a surprise. Alright, wish me luck. So I got another mile down the mountain, and I noticed my front wheel was doing this. So obviously it was out of true because of the spokes. So I found a piece of firewood, and I just put it on its kickstand and pushed it that way and used it to brace right under there to get the front wheel off the ground. And then I've got my fork brace, and you can see right there, if you spin the wheel, you can see how its distance from the fork brace, and it was like coming all the way and touching the fork brace. So what I did was I trued it the best I could. And if you're looking at your tire like this, the spokes that are on your side or on your right side, clockwise tightens them, and the ones on the left side counterclockwise loosens them, and that brings the tire to the right, and it's the opposite way to go to the left. And I still have that one spoke that's loose, but I think it'll be all right for my ride home if only one spoke, this one right here, is damaged. I think the other ones will kind of like make up for it. We'll see. So figured I'd show that to you. If you're ever in a bind on the trail, just find a stick, lean the bike over, and all I'm using is a little monkey wrench. All right. Oh yeah, I've been pulling over and checking my bolts, and they've been holding, so that's good. And extra amount of zip ties. All right, I made it back home. Yay! Oh, that was fun. So what I did is I went through my random bolts and nuts that I had when I lying around, and I found an M8 1.25 by 40 millimeter, and two of those replaced with locking washers. Replaced the ones that fell out, so that shouldn't go anywhere. I could also find some blue thread lock and fix that up. This did get dinged up pretty bad, but it's not leaking. My brakes still hold pressure. I was able to use them on the way back, and the speedometer still works, so that's good. Now I just gotta my neighbor. Now I just gotta figure out how to fix the spoke that came out. I'll find it, but and I trued the wheel good enough that it was going down the road just fine. So yay for being prepared enough to bring, you know, extra bits and repair on the trail, because if it wasn't for those random bolts that I had in this bag, I mean, look how long they were. I wouldn't have been able to put that thing back together to get home. So, other than that, the Hawk's doing fine. I did a rocker adjustment, and one thing I will mention is that the only time I did that original valve adjustment, rocker adjustment, was when I got the bike. So it's got 2,000 miles on it now. I probably should have done it at 1,000, but I did notice that the oh, I don't have my feeler gauge, do I? Hold on. I'm gonna make sure I don't get this wrong. Okay. So the intake was 0.003, and when I checked the exhaust side, and I double checked it, I made sure that I rotated the engine 2 full times around after I set it, just to make sure it was on top dead center. The exhaust side was actually at 0.002, so I had set it at like 0.005. I don't know what happened, but I had to loosen the exhaust side up and set that to 0.004. So intake 0.003, didn't change, and changed the exhaust side to 0.004, and the bike runs just fine. I didn't notice any pinging or anything like that. I sprayed the bike off and checked my air pressure, and everything else seems to be just fine. Still no leaks in the oil cooler, and no leaks in the fuel tank sensor that I replaced. Oh, and that was the other thing is, let's see how many miles I rode. Hold on, it's kind of tight here. All right. Okay, so so I rode 63.5 miles up the mountain and back, and it's registering 2 bars down. So I don't know what that is relative to. Obviously, I haven't emptied an entire tank yet, but maybe 2 bars equal 1 gallon. I don't know, because that 1, 2, 3, and a bit. That would kind of make sense. I don't know. We'll still see. It's going to take some time. But anyways, it was a good trip, and getting home. Yay. Yay to getting home. Alright, take it easy.